side.
Palm up. Sit down, sit down. Good. You go back. You tip, you go back. So, there's forever getting ready to fight. When is going to start the fight? I want to finish the fight ASAP. Got up? Bell rings. Boom, bam, boom. And we go down. So, leg. That's the reason why, you see, we are moving forward. That's the reason why we don't kick this way. If we kick this way, when I drop, I can't move. And if I don't kick high, because I can't move forward. The only basic thing is kicking naturally. Kicking, I drop, and I'm still moving forward. So, my leg works, my hand works. So, if he can block the leg, my hand goes in. So,
See what I fix to know when you let me do.
you can flip him. You can flip him.
Don't show your back. Don't show your back. Don't show.
So, I'm Antonio Graceffo, as always, and you never will be. Alright, I got with me today my friend Chet. Chet, introduce yourself.
I'm Chet, and I train in this Street Fight Wing Chun gym, and I'm actually a coach. I teach them endurance and more grappling and Muay Thai style, and I used to fight professionally, but due to injuries, I quit.
So tell them like how many fights you had.
I have 90 over Muay Thai fights and about 9 MMA fights, some of the federation fights in the professional Germany so-called circuit.
20 seconds. Stay there. Stay there. 20 seconds.
Good.
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 Rest.
I put this. It's not
In Malaysia, were you born in Kelantan or?
No, I'm actually born in KL, but I shifted to Kelantan at an early age. That's when I got actually exposed to Muay Thai.
Okay, for the folks at home, Kelantan is a border region with Thailand, and a lot of the same culture exists on both sides of the border. And they still have, in the villages there, they still have the Tomoy.
Yeah, Tomoy. They have actually but in Malaysia, it's actually legalized recently, like about a few years ago.
Yeah.
Previously, because of religious values, they actually banned it. So in Kelantan, they actually did it illegally in the more rural areas nearby Golok. Golok is the Thai border with Kelantan. So that's where we usually have our fights.
Okay, and here in Thailand, here in Malaysia, it's Tomoy, and the word Muay is the same like the word Muay Thai, and they call it Tomoy. So yeah, but anyway, most of the good professional fighters in Malaysia come from Kelantan.
So most of them, you can see the pioneers in Muay Thai in Malaysia, they're all from Kelantan.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I'll give you that one. 1 point. 1 point.
Just capture the head. You can name Sifu, you can name Matsuman, Eddie. They're all from Kelantan.
Yeah.
They train stuff from there.
Yeah. So if you watch some of my other videos where I go to the professional gyms, you see, yeah, they're all from Kelantan. Everybody. We talked about MMA. We might have a fight next month.
Alright. This guy, he actually picks matches for new fighters to give them more experience. It's not for the money, but for the exposure, so that you get used to the ring. You know, in Malaysia, it's still new, so we are hoping that it will grow faster through that.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's good because I always wanted, like everybody, I watch UFC. I wanted to do it, but I'm not ready to go step into professional.
Yeah.
MMA,
So it's a good exposure for you.
Yeah.
You try that.
So I hope they can find somebody, who sucks. Something.
Yeah. You're good enough, man.
Chet was one of the officials, one of the referees at the Mayhem 2, the infamous Mayhem 2 event that me and the Cambodian team fought in. Heavier than those Cambodian guys. I wanted to ask you a little bit about that. What do you think of the overall, everybody, the overall level, the overall fighters?
Very easy to block the side kick. Very difficult to block the front kick. Block the front kick. If you don't block the front kick, you're going to get it from me. I'm going to do. So in terms of MMA, okay, palm up.
obviously most of them come from Muay Thai background. You can see from the strikes and the kicks, you see. And on ground fighting, especially in BJJ, in judo, in what you call Greco-Roman wrestling, it's still quite new.
Yeah.
That's why you can see when they go down the floor, nothing much happened.
And yet,
except for
90% of the fights went to the floor.
Correct. 90% of it went to the floor.
I think everybody watched UFC. They knew they're supposed to go to the floor, but then they didn't know what to do when they got there.
You can see that once they know how to take people down,
yeah.
but once on the floor, they
yeah.
do not know what to do.
Yeah.
So that's why I think we need to expose them more on that, on
yeah.
ground grappling, and I think strikers should start to broaden up their mind and accept new arts, which is the ground grappling game.
Yeah. And then foreigners did particularly well, actually.
Correct. Because they are exposed earlier.
Kazakhstan, French guy.
They have sambos.
Yeah.
They have, they relatively have wrestling at an earlier age compared to Malaysians, where we only have taekwondo, we have more of the striking kind of background. So ground fight just came, I think, about 3-4 years back.
Sure.
So it's very new.
Yeah. And like in America, in my country, we have junior high school already. They have competitive wrestling, 5 days a week training their whole life. Unfortunately, I was on the swim team. That doesn't help.
It's like, physical educations in US,
yeah.
So yeah, it's helpful. For Malaysian, taekwondo. So everyone does taekwondo, for background.
Yeah.
So it's good. It's good to see it. Mayhem. Everyone starts to, go in, take people down. At least that's a start.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it was funny. The other thing I wanted to ask you about, of course, how old are you, Chip?
I'm actually 26.
Okay, so you're pretty young. Maybe you don't appreciate this, but in 1990, if there was a BJJ school somewhere, but there wasn't. In 1990, there wasn't. But if there was, and a new student walked in off the street, he would not know what is guard, what is half guard, side mount. And today, you get kids walking in. Yesterday, a kid walked in. He's never trained anything in his life. He knows what is side mount, guard, guillotine.
All through the net. Nowadays, internet, you can get everything. UFC, especially cage fight, all everywhere. So that you can learn.
And I used to box competitively, 20 years ago. And at that time, unless you were very rich, you could not afford to watch fight videos. Right. There were no videos. You had to buy the movies. Actual movie.
Unless you fight professionally,
yeah.
You get to see your opponent fighting, that's all.
Yeah.
Same goes last time, about 8-9 years back, when there's none of the Malaysian competitive people. When I was overseas, it's the same thing. I don't get to watch as well, unless my opponent, my coach will actually show me, this is your opponent. Sit down, study.
Yeah.
That's all we know.
But now everybody's online.
You can practically check. So, some people, they put it online, they are so proud of it, but actually sometimes it's a backfire.
Yeah.
Because the more you put it online, the more people can read about your strikes.
Yeah.
Everyone has their bad habits. So the more you put, it's obvious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks, brother. Difference with this Wing Chun kick, when you come down, you're very close.
Yeah.
You're much closer than you'd ever be with something else. That's why. So we have to kick the back like that first.
If you move your front leg first, then you're gone.
Yeah, because the reason why, though, like for Muay Thai, you would land here, and if you're here, it's very easy to kick, right? So we move the kicking leg first, but for you, I think this your leg is all the way in here, and this leg is not in danger, right?
Okay, when you start, you finish it. You do not stop here. The nearest distance to you is this leg versus this leg. What are you going to do? You take it now. Always take that guy down. So from here, if you move,
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.